Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Art and Outdoor Life here with John. Okay, so right here I'm creating a sky, and I'm calling this one, I don't know, Lonely Tree by the Brook or something. But what I'm going to be doing is, in this painting, it came from imagination, thought in my head. So I'm using cobalt blue and Prussian blue, and right there is some raw sienna, kind of similar to a yellow ochre. Now I'm going to be using the figure 8 here. Okay, you see those bright spots on the left and right side? You can figure out the figure 8, okay? The figure 8 method. And that is exactly how I'm seeing this. But it doesn't mean I have to follow the lines. It's kind of a guideline. So with a little bit of Prussian blue, I put in the background for some mountains. I'm going to make these mountains a little bit colorful and try to get a little distance from them. And it's wet on wet here, what I'm doing. This is 100% cotton paper. And like a lot of the paintings I do, it's all about what's going to happen next, pretty much. This is fast and loose. It's not exactly, there's no dry time. I'm not going wash over wash. Anyways, so with the small hake brush, or medium hake brush, I'm just kind of coming along here. Now, I didn't bring in all of the colors that I would normally bring in. And it's just my laziness, okay? I just grabbed a few colors and said, okay, let's try this. And I'm just kind of, I'm feeling it out right here, okay? I'm feeling it out. And I'm just dabbing because I know that the paper's still wet, so that the pigment's going to spread, okay? And I understand about the soft edges and hard edges and stuff like that. And so this is going to be interesting. We're going to be using the card here and a paper towel. And right there I'm lifting up and I'm making clouds, instant clouds. Not in any particular order or, I'm not really thinking about it. I'm just dabbing to paint. Okay. And so I have a basic setup here. Now, as the paint moves me, as I move the paint moves me in real time. There's no reference photo here. So here's the Prussian blue. Okay. Again, and I've already, you see that those mountains have already faded. They're starting to fade. And I'm kind of like, okay, maybe I'll outline them and such. And, by the way, the tree at the end of this is all about the tree and the stream, the brook. Okay. We're not talking about Led Zeppelin. I know I was thinking about that. The tree by the brook. That's just coincidence. It could be called Tree by the Creek, or whatever. So I'm using some burnt umber some raw umber. Raw sienna is the yellow. I'm using a deep blue or a deep green, and I'm using a red, and the red is actually called rose. So it's it's not a crimson, it's just called rose. So with the fan brush, I'm kind of trying to skip over some of these parts, okay, just to kind of let some of that white in there. I mean, I'm experimenting. I'm just playing with it here, okay. So I'm going up and down, and trying to figure things out. I'm letting the paint really talk to me here, if that makes sense. Or maybe I'm just a crazy painter. No, seriously, I'm just feeling it out. Now, I like the mountains right there. I like the mountains. I'm blending in just these few colors, but I'm not always blending them. Now, I have cobalt blue as well in the palette, and this one, all from the tube. And so what I was trying to do here was I wanted to create, actually the tree was not even in my mind when I showed up to do this. I wasn't going to put a tree there, but you'll like the tree. I think you will. How I made the tree. But yeah, I was just toying around here. I'm messing around. I'm just, it's my moment. I'm just having a little time to myself. Okay? And now there's a few things you could do here, and like I didn't have a lemon yellow like I normally do. A lot of colors that I use a lot, I didn't use here. And so it was, I guess when you do these kind of paintings, like with colors you're not used to, it can be challenging. It definitely keeps you on your feet. Okay, so what I was doing here is I'm like, okay, let's put some trees in here. Everything is wet right now. It's all wet on wet. And that's very hard to do because things, to paint smudges, you'll get some dirty colors, that kind of thing. And especially without the highlights, such as lemon yellow and that, it's very difficult to do. It can be. So with the card, now there is my brook, my creek. Now you can make it a road. You can make it a dry creek. But I'm not using white in this video. So my idea when I showed up was, okay, I'm not going to use white, and I'm going to use the card and some tissue paper and just a few odd colors that I'm not used to using, because I just picked them up. And okay, right there I was thinking, maybe there's a little path, or maybe that's another road going off to the side. And then I was thinking, well, maybe not. Maybe it's we got tree lines, right? But maybe that's like a rock line. Okay. I am going to put some bluffs in here. Okay. Now, I wetted the fan brush just so I can loosen up some of that and put more water on it. Okay. I mean, it's already wet, so yeah, I just wanted to loosen it up a little bit. And again, I'm playing with this. So this right here is Prussian blue. I'm like, okay, let's put some trees in over here. Just impression, just for fun. I mean, and having a good time with this. Really having a good time with this. I don't have all these juicy flavors, in this painting. This painting is a fairly dark painting. However, I do believe that the card in this painting helped bring out the rest of the painting. Instead of the colors creating the painting, the card actually brings out the painting here, I believe. So I'm just going over this creek, just randomly. And, like I said, it could be a dry creek. I mean, this brook, right? It's fast and loose. It's for fun. It's, here I am being all analytical and stuff. I'm not really, the whole idea here is not to, the whole idea is not to be afraid to try things. To enjoy trying things is the point. And not to be afraid to use the card. Because sometimes the card, makes paintings awesome. But, we are doing fast and loose, wet on wet here. Okay? I do have some burnt sienna in here. And, okay, so I'm looking at this here. Okay? And if you notice the trees on the right on the right, that white spot, that little white patch there, I was thinking, well, maybe that can be like, part of a stream or a lake. Now I'm using burnt sienna here, and I was like, okay, well, maybe, there's a patches of, foliage there. But then I was like, okay, no, I want to create some bluffs, okay, the rock bluffs. I'm fascinated with bluffs. We have a lot of them out here where I live, and we have a lot of rock bluffs. And they're fascinating when you drive by them because the boulders are so big, these big rocks and such. But I'm also using this card for distance, to create a distance. And now that you see the white popping out from that, now it's kind of giving this painting a little bit of definition, right? So here I am, I'm going over some of these mountains or hills. There are mountains and hills, both of them. The closer are the hills, the foothills, I guess you would say. And the further back are the mountains. This is not realism. I'm not trying to paint realism here. I'm dipping my card into some water, and that way it puts a little bit of water on the card, and it helps loosen up some of that paint. Because the watercolor paints dry pretty quick. Okay. And I'm liking this background here. Okay, and I'm liking the trees. I'm actually liking, I love to scrape, okay? That's just me. I love to scrape, but I don't always scrape. And, you know, with limited colors like this, okay, you know, I don't have a bright yellow, and, you know, I have a lot of darks. So here I'm just kind of testing the waters. I'm playing with it. It's all wet. Okay. And I went ahead and I played with it a little bit too much. So here I'm going back over this again, and I'm like, I want my bluffs back. I want my big rocks back, you know. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. But the tree is still to come. And the tree came out pretty interesting. I wasn't expecting it because I didn't know I was going to put a tree in here. I mean, a definitive kind of tree, I guess you would say. And there I am again. I'm going off, you know, like, okay. Okay, now here's the brook. And I'm like, okay, let's just, maybe this is a little pond, or, you know, I don't know, something like that. You know, I'm just playing around. And I hope that you guys are having a good day and a good week, wherever you are and whenever you are watching this. I hope that you get an enjoyment, or maybe, you know, inspired to try things like this if you haven't. Okay, so here's the tree. Now I'm taking the card. Watch this. Because look at the tree here. If you look at it closely, you'll see the different colors in this tree. This is the lonely tree by the brook. If you like my videos, please subscribe and share it. And thank you so much for viewing. This was just very quick and simple. Wishing you a wonderful day, evening, morning, wherever you are. Sincerely yours, John. And we'll just kind of fiddle around here just to give it some effects. This card really makes this painting. It made that tree.